Welcome back to FPA Live, where we have conversations with interesting people doing interesting things in and out of financial planning. I'm Ben Lewis over here at the Financial Planning Association, and I'm thrilled to have you all join us today because we're going to be talking about a topic that I think is really important in today's modern age of digital media in the world, and that is video. It's one thing to have great video content. It's another thing to learn to leverage it the right way in your marketing to attract and engage your clients and your ideal prospects. And luckily for us, we have one of, I think, the foremost authorities on all things digital marketing join us today. Let me bring her in. Everybody, Kalli Fedusenko of the Kalli
Hi.
Collective. How are
Hi.
you, Kalli?
I'm great. Ben, I think you should just introduce me on everything.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. And we're going to talk about AUM
Yeah.
later on in this live stream, because Callie's actually the one who got me interested in even doing these FPA lives to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled to have you on. And I know this is weird for you to be on that side
It is. Yeah.
of one of these.
I was like getting ready to, the countdown. I was like, okay, get ready. Oh, wait, I'm not on yet.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you here. So everyone, Callie is the founder and director of the Callie Collective. So Callie and her team over there, they are one of the leading digital marketing agencies for financial service professionals. Had the opportunity to work with Callie for many years, and I just think so highly of her work. She's been a speaker at FPA events. She's done all kinds of stuff. So she's terrific. And in fact, this conversation today is all about how you leverage video
Video.
content within your website and in your marketing.
Mhm.
And actually, because Callie has done so much with FPA, she has actually written I think what is the definitive guide of leveraging video in your marketing and your website. She wrote for the January Journal of Financial Planning, Maximizing Video Impact on Your Website, a comprehensive guide for financial advisors. I know that she's actually got other guides that she's developed, which
Mhm.
I'm sure you all can kind of take a look at callicollective.com. But anyway,
I was like,
Callie,
oh, wow, I need to update my profile picture.
let me go ahead and bring that back up.
Look how short my
Yeah,
hair
you
is.
got short hair there. I can't remember a time that you had short hair.
It actually wasn't that long ago, believe it or not. My hair just grows really fast.
Well, there you go. I wish mine did too, actually. Mine I think shrinks. So, anyway, but Callie, so as we kind of tee this whole thing up, video is all the rage when it
Yeah.
comes to marketing these days. I mean, you can't go anywhere without seeing some advisor, some planner putting video content out there.
Mhm.
So that article that you wrote for the Journal of Financial Planning, what inspired you to write that?
Mhm.
What were you seeing as the need that we need a definitive playbook for how you leverage this video content in your marketing?
Yeah. So everybody, I guess I should say almost everybody is doing video or they're interested in video. But what I've been seeing is that they're using the same execution on social media platforms as they are on their website, which just doesn't really work because
Hmm.
the way that you're using video on social media is different than your website, or it should be, I should say. And so I wanted to write out, well, one, why is video important? Two, what should you do on your website with your video? Because it's a different strategy than it is getting out in social media and on the web and other places.
So when it comes to this, I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions that come with utilizing video.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of those?
Misconceptions. You do the video and you're done. That's one of the biggest things I've seen. Challenges is that somebody will put a lot of time into creating videos and they don't actually do anything with the video, or they'll put it out on one place one time and don't touch it again. And
Hmm.
I mean, speaking as someone who's done video, it takes a lot. Like, it takes not only money but energy and your time. And I think people are missing out on some ROI. One of the biggest things I'll say is email out your video. We've had case studies where we've emailed out a video that hadn't been before, and the video will double in views just from that one email. So it's just thinking about how can you get this in front of more people, especially after all the time that you've put into creating this video.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I mean, it's like these conversations that we're having here on FPA Live. I mean, one of the things that
Mhm.
we do is after we do this, we get it up on our on-demand library, but then I take the video and we splice it into at least three social chunks
Yep.
that we can turn around and leverage. I mean, to me, the biggest crime is if you're going to sit down and do the time and the investment in doing these things, is
Yeah.
to not then turn it into bite-sized content that you can kind of feed through your.
Right. Exactly. I would say another misconception that I see is the length of video, especially if you're the kind of person who goes in without a script and you're just like ad libbing,
Mhm.
which is not me. I don't like doing that except on these live streams. But if I'm doing a short video, I have to have a script. Um, so if you're the kind of person that ad libs, you'll find that you start talking on a long keeps going and going,
Mhm.
but you really want to stick to 2 minutes or under. And even now, I would say it's even less if you want to get a reel in, it's like 60 seconds or less. So you really have to be thoughtful in what you're going to say in your video so that you're not going too far because people drop off within 30 seconds.
So, so actually last November we had on FPA Live, we had Laura and Sharon from Idea
Mhm.
Decanter.
Yeah.
Ab
Love them.
Big shout out for Laura and Sharon over at Idea
Yeah.
Decanter. People should take a look at them as well. Um, and we talked about just getting started doing video.
Mm. Yep.
Oftentimes just getting the content together is half the battle.
Oh, yeah.
What sage advice or guidance do you have for people who are like sitting back thinking to themselves, God, I really need to start to incorporate more video content. How do I actually get that content together to begin with?
One of the easiest things to do is think about the last meeting that you had with a client and what were some of the client's questions.
Hmm.
And then answer the question, but do it on camera. That's one of the like low hanging fruit, I think, because typically if your client has that question, another prospect is going to have that same question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Mhm.
the other thing is that you really don't need to have $1 million in your marketing budget to be able to do this. I
Yeah.
mean, we're utilizing Restream for this. I mean,
Hmm.
this is, and what's cool about this platform, not to give Restream a big, a bunch of advertising for free here, but you don't need to go live with this. You can utilize the
Right.
studio and do recorded content. So it's really easy.
There's just so many tools out there now. Like even Restream has partnered with I think it's Clap. So of course you have to pay subscription because everything's on subscription, but it will use AI and make the clips for you, and then it will even tell you, oh, this is the percentage of how much we think this will go viral, which I don't think is very accurate, but
Right. Right. Well, I mean, so I've actually dabbled with like Riverside to
uh-huh.
actually take, and Riverside is another cool platform and actually creates magic clips. So you can just upload your main video content.
Yep.
It'll actually pull out that content that they think is the
Right.
most
Yes.
important, or the most relevant.
Exactly. And I guess I should say because AI is still relatively new, especially with video editing and in other software programs that we're using. So the whole ad libbing a video is actually even easier now. You could have a long video and then you can just upload it to one of these software platforms and it will create the clip for you. So yeah, it's even easier than it was before.
So let's turn the attention back to the financial planners and financial advisors who are
Yeah.
thinking about doing this. In your work with these different firms, what types of video content are you seeing most resonate with clients and prospects?
Okay. Stories. People love stories. Short little tidbits. And again, like questions that you might have a client ask. And then the third one is the things that I see take off for advisors are always something I haven't thought of. Right? So we had a client who posted a video on S block. I didn't even know what S block was, but that video like kept getting views and views and views. And I'm like, but nobody else had a video about SBlock, which I now know is securities backed line of credit. So just weren't any videos or information out there on that. And so his video just kept getting views because whoever was looking for that topic was finding him. Another one that was doing really great is depression and retirement. I think people stay away from that topic because it feels like a downer, but it's really relevant to the audience. So if there's a topic that you are an expert in that you think is really boring, do it because nobody else is.
Right. And well, I mean, so I do a lot of the media training and things like that
Yeah.
at FPA for our members. And so one of the things I always tell our members is to utilize those real experiences you're having with your clients to identify really great content. Because to your point, what you were saying before is chances are if one of your clients is having an experience or a personal situation that they're facing, chances are there's thousands and thousands and thousands of other consumers out there who are facing that same issue. So take your advice that you gave to that client. Again, you can keep it vague so you're not being specific, but take that and utilize that to create some new engaging content.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best strategies that I've seen. Now, of course, I would use questions that your ideal client is asking. If
There
you
you
have a
go.
client that you're like, I don't really like working with this person, I don't want to work with someone else like them, then maybe don't focus on the issues that matter to them because you're
Well,
going to attract more people like that.
right. Well, online marketing tells you that people search for their problems. They don't search for solutions.
Right. Because if we knew
Right.
the solution, why would we be searching?
Well, exactly. Yeah. I got an inheritance. I have no idea what to do with it. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not
Yep.
looking for somebody who can. So by creating content that's actually going to help them address those challenges, it will naturally lead to potential new business opportunities.
Yes. Exactly.
So let's talk about the advisors' websites for a second.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, look, simply sticking a video on a website's easy to do.
Yeah.
Are there optimal places on a
Oh,
on
yeah.
a website that content should be displayed?
I would say the pages that people are visiting the most often. So it's going to be your homepage. If you have like a bio page and about, those are generally the three pages that are visited the most on a website. So usually it's homepage and then the lead advisor, their page is always second because I
Yep.
guess just because they're the most popular. And then about, that's generally what I see as the most visited pages. But like you're saying, slapping a video on a website is really easy. It doesn't mean it's going to work. So a few things to consider as you're adding it to your website would be make sure you have a play button. So this is one of the things that I see a lot is if somebody creates a video, when I'm uploading it to YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, those platforms are automatically going to add a play button on top of it. So we don't want a play button on our thumbnail because then you'll have a play button on top of a play button.
Hmm.
But when I'm putting it on my website, unless I'm embedding from YouTube, which I do recommend, but if you want more control over the thumbnail or you want the thumbnail to be different from your YouTube thumbnail, you want to make sure that you do have a play button on it so people know this is a video and not just a picture. So that's one of the
Yeah.
things that I see rather frequently is that there's no play button.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So unless you actually, yeah, because I mean, it is a CTA, right?
Mhm.
You see that naturally, you're going to want to click on it.
Right. What are they
So.
saying? I must know.
So in terms of, all right, so you get the video content up on your website. So that's step one.
Mhm.
What suggestions do you have for planners and advisors who want to drive traffic to that? Because obviously, like you
Mm,
got to bank on people actually coming to your website, and hopefully your company emails and promotions and everything else you're doing is driving traffic into your website
mhm,
because that's the central nervous system of your marketing.
mhm.
What are some strategies and tactics you have for actually driving people to that video content?
to the actual video. Okay, so now there's places the 3 pages that are most visited that I recommend having a video. There's also on your blog, or if you're adding video, vlog, where you want to be putting your videos, and those would be more topical videos. So on a homepage, you're going to be talking about the firm and maybe how you help prospects. And then obviously on your biography page, you're going to be talking about yourself and why you got into financial advising. But then if you're talking about something that's happening in the world today, or you're like, hey, you need to convert your IRA to a Roth IRA, that's going to go on your blog page. And driving traffic to your blog is going to be a different strategy than driving traffic to your homepage. The blog is going to be more so emailing it out, posting on social media. If you have someone you can tag in it who would share it, whereas your homepage and about page and bio, that's going to be more SEO strategies and general traffic that you're directing to your website. I definitely recommend embedding videos from YouTube, because that's going to help with the SEO, because Google owns YouTube. So, they play nice together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask about, is how video actually impacts relevance of your site in terms of Google searches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to,
Mm-hmm.
obviously the YouTube connection is one piece of that. What,
Right.
how else can embedding that video content in your website drive relevance on Google?
Well, it's going to look at, so the way that we see a website is not how Google sees the website,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we're looking at it, we see, pictures and words, etc. When Google looks at it, they're looking at the code. So it's going to see video. It's not necessarily going to know what the video is, except the title of the video.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you are including text with the video on your website, because that's what it's going to see. And it's going to connect this text with that video. So that's something that I think is really important. And again, AI for the win. You can take your transcripts of the video, put it into, whatever your AI of choice, and have it come up with a description from the transcripts. That way you're including some of those keywords and still getting the SEO benefit and the user experience of the video.
So doing video is one thing, but
Mm-hmm.
actually tying it to measurable goals that you
Mm-hmm.
have as a planner advisor. Obviously, you want to grow your business, right? You want to attract new clients, you want to bring in new assets, and
Right.
so on. What are some of those key metrics that you think planners and advisors should be looking at with regard to
Video.
their marketing, but specifically on video in terms of their website?
Okay, key metrics, depending like you said, everybody wants to grow. Depends what your other goals are.
Hmm.
So, are you looking for more organic growth, or are you looking, I don't know what you would call non-organic growth, but non-organic growth? There
Artificial.
are artificial growth.
you know.
Um, looking at those pieces, and then defining the steps that you want your audience to take to get there. That's a key piece that people aren't looking at. So the reason that I need to track those steps is because that's going to give me the metrics I need to be tracking earlier. So there's traffic, of course. I can see how many people are going to my website. I can see if it's a new visitor or a recurring visitor. So if I'm trying to get repeats, then the returning visitor might be an important metric for me to follow. If I have a downloadable, how many people have downloaded it, that might be a metric I want to follow. Or if, I just had one, I was like, right there on the tip of my tongue.
It's a good thing we're doing this live.
Yeah, bouncing. That's what it was, bouncing. If you if it's important to you how long somebody's staying on the page. Because if they stay on the page longer, you know that they're reading what you wrote, then that would be an important metric. So that was my politician answer to you, Ben.
And you did a knock-up job with that one. So let's just say, so, and I mean, again, the hope is that you're going to have video content on your website. It's going to start to drive better results in terms of, your engagement and so
Yeah.
on. If video content is not achieving the desired
Hmm.
metrics, what are the likely culprits?
Okay, that's a good question. One, your thumbnail sucks. I don't want to click on it because it doesn't look interesting to me. Two, your video is too long. I got bored and I closed out of it. And three, the topic is just not relevant. And that one I think is the hardest. So one and two is, relatively easy to fix. Number three is going to take some trial and error to find what content is interesting to your audience.
So you were talking about some AI and how
Mhm.
AI can be used to assist with some of this. What are some other tools and resources that you recommend, especially to those financial planners and advisors who are novices
Mm.
in doing this and getting started? What are some other opportunities that are out there for them?
Tripod.
Ring light.
Because yeah, light. Well, actually, you don't even the light could be secondary. If natural light is amazing. I mean, I think Ben, you've got natural light going on right now. It
Oh
looks like.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's natural light, but it's very cloudy and rainy right now.
Yeah.
So
It's cloudy here too. Um, but so you can always go by a window, and that can be your like plan B if you don't want to invest in lights. But I would definitely get some sort of tripod because you're going to be using your phone to record and you're just not stable as a human.
Mhm.
You're an unstable human. um, and then a microphone. That's the other. Sound is so important when it comes to video. You can get away with a fuzzy picture. You cannot get away with crackly sound. So I would invest in a microphone that either connects Bluetooth or you're plugging into your phone.
And then in terms of video, this is something I also wanted to throw out to you.
Yeah.
I've had some people on some of the videos that we post after the FPA lives tell me that they weren't very fond of the captioning that was coming up.
Hmm. In what
So
way?
uh, they didn't like how it was like coming up.
Okay. Like
It
the
was
animation of it.
there was a little bit of animation with it.
Okay.
So I guess my question for you is all video content, should they be defaulting to captioning their
Yes.
video content or not?
Yes. Because think about when you're scrolling. I mean, do you always have the sound on? I don't.
Not when I'm on TikTok.
Right? Or you're in a board meeting. It's boring. You're scrolling. You don't
You're
want the
flipping
sound
through.
going off. So yeah, I think everybody should have captions. Not to mention um the what is it called, Ben, for the Disability Act?
Oh yeah, ADA.
Yes, not to mention ADA. Um, and that's important, I think, for advisors to consider, especially on websites too. You should. Now I'm getting sidetracked, but you should be considering the colors that you're using because there's a lot of colorblind people, so you have to make sure you have the contrast there so that they
Mhm.
can see things.
All
Same
right,
thing for video.
so I want you to tell everyone a little bit more about Cali Collective and
Yeah.
also AUM. I want to talk real quickly about that one as well.
Okay.
But I do want to ask you to take out your crystal ball for a second.
Okay.
Where do you see like what's on the horizon for video? Like what are some of the new trends, things that you're starting to see in your work that you think more advisors need to be thinking about moving forward?
Hmm.
Not to stump you.
I know. I'm like new trends. Well, portrait mode, that's not really that new anymore. um, but just for the audience, there's landscape and then there's portrait. And because we're so addicted to our phones, you really have to be thinking about the phone and being in portrait mode. Oh, okay. So I don't know. So sometimes the trends change and then people stick to old trends, and because it's different, it works. And something I'm seeing is longer videos are working. I think it's
Hmm.
just depends on the video, depends on the person, but something to keep an eye on in the future is like a long video.
I guess it also depends on the topic,
Yeah,
right? I
right,
mean, you do want to sit down and watch a 60-minute video about, you know, life insurance.
right,
Not,
exactly.
I'm not beating up on anybody out there who does a lot of work with life insurance, but yeah, you got to kind of pick your subject matter and go accordingly.
Mhm,
So the one last question I have for you on this is, for advisors who are hesitant
mhm,
to get started,
mm,
what is one simple action, one thing that they can do today to at least kickstart their video integration with their
mm.
marketing, their website, and so on?
Record because the first video is gonna suck. So start now, you know?
Well, but on that point, I mean, Laura
Yeah,
and Sharon from Idea Decanter, they made it a point
yeah,
to say it's going to suck at first,
it is.
but you
Yeah.
learn from doing.
Yes, exactly. And that is, speaking of ARM, that has been a recurring theme for all the different topics that we've talked with people about is just get started. That's what they all say. Just start because you're going to figure things out as you go. So I think just recording yourself on your phone, even if you don't use that, just record yourself because especially if as you're starting out, you decide that you want to do some of your own editing, it's hard to look and listen to you on video.
Hmm.
Um, because it's just awkward. So just record and get used to seeing it because you're also going to start picking up on things that you do or don't do. And then you'll be more cognizant of it as you're recording.
Well, I know every time I do one of these and then I see the recording afterward, I look at it, I'm like, this is not a face for video. And I'm starting to think now this is not a voice for video either. I believe me, it makes me cringe every time I see it. But I know that these are working. I know that people are engaging with the
Yeah.
content, especially the recorded version. So I just want to keep doing it because
Yeah.
I hopefully people think it's interesting subject matter, despite the fact that they're looking at my face the entire time.
Right.
So, what I want to do is I want to switch gears here in the closing minutes here. I want
Yeah.
you to tell everybody about one of my favorite things that you do is AUM, Ask
Yes.
Us Marketing. And I had the opportunity to be a guest of Kalli's, which is kind of cool because we kind of flipped the script today.
Right.
Um, God, was it last year, early last year? I can't remember when it was. But you do these every Monday at 1
Hmm.
p.m.
Hmm.
Eastern time.
Hmm.
Tell everybody about what you're doing with AUM.
Yeah. So we have somebody on who is an expert in their field. So Ben came on to talk about PR. Lauren and Sharon, who you mentioned from Idea to Cantor, came on to talk about video. We also have talked about podcasts, public relations. Actually, the last one we did was about crisis communications,
Mhm.
what to do when there's a crisis. But we also will have advisors on who have done something unique or different, or they had some uh, big win from their marketing. And then we just kind of pick their brains about what they did and how other people can do something similar or, take away some nuggets from their strategy. So we
Well,
do that, yeah, every Monday. It's noon my time, which is central. So we like to say live at lunch.
live at lunch. And I know you're the next one, which is next Monday. I think you're doing it on client conversations.
Yes. And this guy, he has a really interesting story. He's like a para Olympic gold medal winner or something, but
Mhm.
he's talking about making conversations that count, like going deep, not just shallow. And then he's going to give some tips on how to do that.
That's awesome. And I know that you do these not only like me, LinkedIn and Facebook, but you also hit Twitter/X, X/Twitter.
Not anymore because you have to be a paid subscriber.
Oh,
Boo.
So then forget that one. But I think you do it on Instagram?
Sometimes
Sometimes.
Instagram. Okay, for anyone out there watching who's considering doing live videos, yeah, Twitter you have to pay now, and Instagram is really wonky, and you have to like put a code in and then put it into your Instagram, and I haven't found the value in it. So we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and then I upload to all the podcast channels. So if you are like, hey, I can't join at that time, you can always listen to the recording. And if you can't watch, you can just listen.
Well, there you go. And before I let you go, I want to give Kalli Collective a little shout out
Yeah.
here. Why don't you tell everybody real quick about Kalli Collective, your team, and the great work that you're doing for
Yeah.
planners and advisors?
I do have a great team. They do writing, design, everything. So we help advisors with digital marketing, using data-driven marketing through websites. So we do websites, we do content, and we do advertising for our clients. So if you're looking for a new website, or you're like, hey, I want to start doing something outside of just asking for referrals, then check us out, because we've got a lot of different service offerings. We also have some education for the people who want to do it themselves, but they want a little bit of guidance.
Excellent. And I just want to once again tell everybody, if you haven't yet checked out KalliCollective.com, definitely do it. Kalli is at the top of her game when it comes to digital marketing for advisors and planners. Can't say enough good stuff about the work that she's done. And I neglected to say, FPA is proud to sponsor
Yeah.
AUM. I
Yes.
mean, we've been doing this now for about the last year or so.
Mhm.
It's a great relationship. We love working with Kalli. So everyone check out KalliCollective.com. You won't be sorry. So anyway, with that, Kalli, I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time, and I appreciate you spending a little bit
It was
of your
great.
wisdom with everyone today.
It was a blast to be on here as a guest and not a host.
It's a little weird for you, I know.
It is.
Anyway, Kalli, thanks so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
All right. And everybody, that was Kalli Fedusenko of Kalli Collective. And definitely take a look at all the great stuff that Kalli's doing over there for digital marketing for financial planners and advisors. You won't be sorry. I also want to remind all of you that all of our FPA live conversations are available at fpahub.org. That's fpahub.org. And as always, you can scan that little QR code right there, and it will take you to the entire video library. And until next time, have a great day.